Well, some really, really smart scientists are working hard on what is causing autism. Well, since I'm doing a website on ADHD, which autism is part of it, ADD, I mean, it's a family that are all the same. They're all totally related, all totally connected. And the website I'm working on will cure it. Should cure you of ADHD, cure you of ADD, cure you of autism. It's sort of like a school type website, sort of, because basically they're geniuses that don't know their skills. They haven't mastered their skills yet, so they have to um, learn it. But CNN just did a story of researchers on what's the cause, and they're saying it's the air, it's the age of the parent. What was the other one? Um, oh, what was it? Regardless, they said it was all to do with environment and not so much parental genes, which is dead wrong. I mean, everything has everything to do with a parent's gene. You want to talk about, oh, it's all the environment? Yes! We are beings that create the environment. What is in our heads, what is in our DNA, what we think is a good idea is what we create out in the air. So it's like, no matter what, you can never ever escape that autism is always going to be causal from a parent's DNA. A parent's DNA will tell you what you are and what you're going to do if you're not in control of your DNA. So that's sort of like the school that I'm working at putting together, is showing you how to control your DNA so you can master it. Um, Over just letting it go on cruise control and just genetically keep doing the same behaviors but intensifying those behaviors. Most autism would um, first of all, it's so clear to see. I don't see why anybody else doesn't see, but it's the inability to receive information. Okay, so you kind of look at their parents. Do their parents listen to anybody? Do their parents listen to their kids? I mean, if you're autistic, it's really hard to understand what your kid's trying to say. And you can't say anything to them, because they ain't listening. So it's sort of like parent reversal, that a parent never listens to a child, and you can try and tell your parent something, but they never will listen. So it's like the same behaviors that a parent has is going to be turned into the child. If you're a thief, the child is going to be a bigger thief. Um, but you have, and I seriously, I have those symptoms that I had to master, because it turns out that I came from a very abusive family, that I was repeating the same patterns regardless of wanting to break the cycle. I broke the cycle, but yet still lived with abuse. So it's like, okay, that advice on how to break a cycle is dead wrong. So it did take, I had to sort of look within myself of who I am, where I came from, and get some form of control over it, which has worked for me, because even now, if I take some of those tests, it'll say I'm only mild. But yet, the questionnaires, if you answer it, is like, oh, I was severe. Every one of those things, I was severe. But now I'm like mild, a very mild case. And my kids are starting to show signs of ADHD, um, which as soon as I started seeing this in my kids, and they were labeling them in schools, as soon as I could see him being labeled, he started acting even more out of control. So it was like, I ain't putting no labels on my kids. So now they're kind of pissed off because I didn't label them and didn't put them on medication way back when. And it was more of, I'm trying to teach my kids how to master their own skills. But sadly, bad divorce. Ex-husband told my kids not to listen to me, so now they can't receive any information from their mother on how to master the skill. which explains why I'm putting a website together. So if they're going to do research on their own illness that they're claiming that they got that label, then let's give them some information because they're searching on the internet. So it's like life always finds a way. You know, that's all I want to do is offer my kids some helpful information to help them develop themselves and break this cycle. It sort of feels like a duty. Not going to put any pressure on them. They can do whatever they want. I'll support them 100% in whatever they're doing. But I'm going to put information up there so that other people know about it. And if it works for a lot of other people, then it should work for my kids. So this is sort of like a creative way of trying to get them to receive information. But that is one of the biggest things is you need to receive information. The only way I got to where I am is because I received information. And I believed like a sucker. I believed most shit, so I tried most shit. Only to find out it didn't work. And only to find out, okay, no, there's a contradiction. You know, and now I'm a master critic. I can see a contradiction so fast, and it's that too is a negative experience. To criticize things all the time is not necessarily a good thing, but that's something I'm sort of like a master at. But it's good and it's bad. It's when you see something wrong, it is what I'm trying to master now is how to recognize an unwanted behavior without putting a label on it. Because as soon as I say that's bad, then I create the bad because that bad is coming from me. So it's a matter of more what is good about this? Does it really work? Does it, are you happy with it? It is a communication problem that I'm having that I'm trying to develop that I'm still sucking at. But every day I get a little better. Gotta admit, my shit is really, really different than anybody else is saying. So to be able to explain things so other people understand is a massive challenge. And I think a few people are starting to understand the same things that I am. Not very many, but I think it's starting, which means, okay, my communication skills must be improving. So that's the quest I'm at. But you look at people that, one of the biggest guys on Wall Street, one of the most successful guys, I started researching this, and it's like, okay, who doesn't listen on the planet? Bankers, people on Wall Street, they don't tend to listen too well. They're just so busy on the greed. And the richest guy is spending a lot of his money on autism, trying to find a cure. Why? Because his grandchild has it. Most rich people will always fund what their heritage is suffering from, whatever illness that they're suffering from. It's real important to them to cure their shit. So it's really funny. You look around at who has, of these wealthy people, look at what they die from. Look at what diseases they have. And it's like, instead of trying to get them to do the right thing, politically or through the bank system, or, get them to do the right thing by saving their own lives. If they knew the cure to their own personal health, they won't do anything wrong. That, if you really want to live, then you've got to follow the plan on how to live right. So it's like, if these really, really rich people are truly concerned about autism, the family structure, the social structure has to change because it is environmental. So it is like, because it's environmental, because the wealthiest guy's kid or grandchild has autism, and the richest guy doesn't give a shit about the environment, doesn't give a shit about the air or the food or anything else, which is directly causing, it will create autism. He's got to spend all of his money cleaning up the planet so that his kid has fresh air to breathe. So kind of see how it's going to hit them in the end. It's going to be our illnesses and our diseases. And it's not that hard to see. You can see Japan. A lot of people are going to die now. You see a lot of people from the Gulf. A lot of people are going to die. Some of these people are going to be politicians. It's not going to not affect them. It's in the air that they breathe. It's in the food that they eat that they're in denial of, but they're still eating it. They're still breathing the same air we breathe, so it's going to affect them too, which means they're going to get sick now. And the cure is cure the cause. So I think there's a lot of hope for humanity. And that's what I'm kind of focusing on now is working on these websites that instead of taking it from one direction, I'm going to try and share information in a different area where it's like, okay, if I have the tools that knows how to cure every friggin' illness known to the human experience, and put it on a website and show everybody, like go ADD and all of these groups, put a website, get another website for cancer, get another website. If I just made a website for every individual disease, then people that are searching for answers are going to, they're usually searching for how do I improve my health. So they're going to be searching for that one, so when you say there's a cure to everything, nobody's going to find it, because nobody's looking for a cure to everything. They're looking for a cure for themselves. So that's my plan, is to make it all individual, because people will search for their individual issue. So they're all going to be sort of like generic, because it's all the same thing, basically. Um, Everything is causal. As soon as you see the cause, if you're a good critic, you can cure it. So, anyways, that's my take on autism. Interesting how wealthy people are giving birth to autistic kids, and wealthy people don't tend to listen too well. Now they're giving birth to kids that don't listen at all, and they ain't going to listen until you listen to them. That is the key to curing autism, is you have to be at one with them. And it's definitely possible. My daughter's a horse whisperer, so I can see her talking to horses. So you can, and I can see how you can talk with autistic kids. It's not that hard. I actually offered to, just because of where I am right now, and I wanted to do something with my life, I offered to volunteer for kids that have autism. But I told them I'm hypersensitive, and if I see a parent being, kind of abusive, I will speak up. That behavior needs to change, and that's part of the problem of why a child is autistic. So they were like, no, the parents don't want to hear they're doing anything wrong. They just want somebody to babysit their kid because they want a break. So it's got to be done in a way that provides a different direction for them. So that's another aspect of it too. Is the cure actually not only gives them information, but creates and builds a completely different environmental atmosphere that every single person will benefit from. Every single illness. So we need to build the solution. Once we understand the cause, it's like, okay, what do we do next? And then it's like building something different, and we will provide everything it takes to build that something different. So it's kind of cool. I'm so excited. I guess Tuesday's the date. I'm going to have a meeting with my programmer, really great subscriber that has joined. Doesn't agree 100% with everything, which is good, because you need people with different opinions. Still keeping an open mind at all times, that things don't have to be my way, they have to work. So that's the only thing that I'm looking at, is the end result has to work, and if somebody else can help out and see things that I don't see, then it'll be so cool. But there's my take on autism. The rich are going to have to clean up their playground if they want to cure their kids. Peace out.